So we're chatting with Mr. Tom Murphy. And Mr. Murphy, you're a candidate for the Circuit Judge District.
It's Circuit 1, Group 15,
Okay.
and that encompasses everything from Walton County to Escambia County.
Okay. And I mean, what exactly does this job do? Why should voters care who gets into the position?
Well, I think it has a lot to do. The criminal justice system and the justice system, I think, is very important to the citizens. So many things nowadays wind up in court. Divorces, child custodies, criminal cases, lawsuits. So the courts are very important. That's what separates us from some of the Middle Eastern countries.
What made you decide to toss your hat in the ring?
Well, I'll be honest with you. I hadn't intended to run for judge. Several people had come to me and they said, we really need you to do this, Tom. With your reputation, your background, your ability to deal with people, we'd really like you to throw your name in the hat. And I did.
What kind of major challenges do you see, for this job in the coming years?
There's a few. One of them is case management. The dockets in this circuit are huge. They just keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And of course, as you know, the economy's down. And when the economy is down, crime is up. And so that has increased the caseload significantly. Another thing is funding. The court system gets less than 1% of the state's overall budget. If we had more money, certainly we could institute more programs and hire more state attorneys, more public defenders. I'm not advocating raising anybody's taxes, but I think if somebody would take a hard look at the overall state budget, there's got to be a 0.25% increase or a 0.5% increase that they could wind up sending to the court systems.
If you could tell voters what makes you uniquely qualified for the job, why should they vote for you?
That's a great question. I haven't always been a lawyer. I spent 24 years in the United States Army. I'm a veteran of the Iraq War. I retired and used my GI Bill, went to law school, got my undergrad from Troy State University, cum laude, and I said, hey, this wasn't bad, let's go to law school. I went to Louisiana State University and went to work for the state attorney's office after law school. After a few years of that, well, actually in between, I got recalled to active duty and sent to Iraq for a year with the United States Army. I came back, they transferred me down to Shalimar. And if you know anything about our circuit, Defuniak Springs is the seat of Walton County, and it has a population of about 5,000 people. It's a very small town. Shalimar was the big city, and I didn't like it as much. And so what I did was I changed vocation. I went from prosecuting crimes to the public defender's office and started assisting those that had been charged with crimes. I thought it was a great way to round out my legal career. Prosecutor and a public defender, I've seen both sides of the bench. And in my years of legal work, I have spent almost every day in the courtroom because I've been a state employee. I'm used to the large dockets. We have huge dockets at the public defender's office and the state attorney's office, and I know how to move them. And in moving them, that is still treating people with respect and dignity and allowing them to have their day in court.
Mr. Tom Murphy, candidate for Circuit Judge, we thank you so much for talking to us today.
Well, thank you for having me.